I'm feeling particularly called just to share something because this opportunity, it's not a get rich quick scheme or anything like that. The product is epic. It helps with health. However, this year in particular, I've been extra grateful for it, especially this past month. My mom right now has I made over $2,500 this month, and my mom has three checks waiting to deposit for me. And I have not been able to work because I've been relocating with my partner to Peru. And so it's been a very busy, very crazy month in terms of life stuff. Yet I was still able to make a well above low, what do they call it? What do they call it? Low income? What's it called? Basic income? I can't remember what it's called anymore. What's it called?
Income?
Like the
Minimum wage,
lowest
minimum wage, minimum
minimum
wage.
wage. Yeah, minimum wage. Yeah, I made far above minimum wage this month because I put in the reps and have put in the effort over the years with this opportunity. So just really, really special. And I feel really, really grateful for my teams that have been producing and just to still be able to hop on and share it. So let's get started. All right, thumbs up if you can see it. Yep, awesome. Okay, so as I'm sure you all know, the company that we work with is called Enagic. Now, Enagic is a company, and we are a form of, I guess you could think of like contractors. We're the marketing, we're the sales teams, but we also have our own businesses and we distribute the products. And so the different problems that our team solves has to do with health, personal development, an awesome community, income, of course, making money, taxes, especially if you're in Canada. We have some excellent partnerships with some accountants that are really, really great at uncovering secret money. And we help with time freedom and generational wealth, which are definitely the two reasons why I originally joined this opportunity. So today we're going to cover three topics. We're going to talk about the health, the wealth, the money making, and then the strategy, which is how we are able to make money and operate even if you have no past business experience at all. I'll come back to this again later, but just keep in mind our company has been around for over 50 years now, coming up to 51 years. And this is amazing for any company. Certainly, a company that is like one of our nature, where we have distributors, not a traditional business model, I suppose. Usually, companies like this, they last about 4, 5, 6, 7 years, and then they tend to really taper off. And this is usually because either one, there's some legality issues, or because the people that become really successful, they end up quitting and going and doing their own thing. So our company has stood the test of time and we can get sales and build teams everywhere. So it's an amazing opportunity. So we'll talk about the health. Our flagship product is called the K8. This is a machine that makes hydrogen water. Okay, so it's likely that you've heard of Kangen water be referred to as alkaline water. While it is higher on the pH scale and is technically alkaline, the proper term for this is hydrogen-rich water. So if you're going to do your own research, you want to look up hydrogen water, hydrogen-rich water, not alkaline water. They are very different. Just a quick reminder, I'm going to be going through quite a lot of information on this call. So if you have questions, please save them for the end or ask the person that invited you. I don't go too in depth to all the science and all the different intricacies of the business. Otherwise, this presentation would be hours long. So this is just a quick intro. Now, these days, 95% of the world has health problems, and it's primarily due to these four symptoms, which is acidity, oxidation, toxification, and dehydration. So we'll start with acidity. This is called the pH scale. Okay, this is how we measure acidity or alkalinity. It's out of 14, meaning seven is in the middle, so seven is neutral. The human body is slightly above neutral, 7.4, and even a slight deviation in this will make you very sick. Acidosis, alkalosis. If you go to 7.35, 7.45, you're already tipping into dangerous levels. And our machine supports in maintaining ideal alkalinity levels. Oxidation, which is aging, there's no difference between aging and oxidation. When you see fruit turning brown or when you see metal rusting, This is the act of oxidation. And in our body, it actually damages our DNA. It damages the telomeres. Antioxidants means anti-aging. So how it works, again, this is the hydrogen-rich water. Through electrolysis, the water becomes extra hydrogen rich. There's extra hydrogen, and this hydrogen seeks out and neutralizes what's called free radical oxygen in your body. Currently, H2 is one of, if not the most powerful antioxidant they've discovered, and one glass of Kangen water is equal to eating 5 pounds of blueberries for its oxidation reduction potential. ORP is the potential that a substance has to either anti-age you or age you. And as you can see here from this very simple uh, graph scale, is that our machine ranks very high for oxidation reduction potential, even in comparison with, good things like vitamin C. Obviously, drinks and plastic and sugar and tap water filled with chemicals is not going to be conducive and supportive of anti-aging. Okay, toxification and dehydration. As time goes on, I uncover more and more and more about how this is likely the main underpinning factor for most of people's sickness, has to do with overtoxification, drainage, and being dehydrated. So, what is toxification? It's when you have a buildup of toxins in your body. And we often talk about detox, but we don't talk about drainage. And so there's all these different supplements and things that detox, which releases the toxins from where they're stored, but they're not being properly drained out of the body. They're just moving from one part of the body to another part of the body. We are mostly water. We are almost entirely water, actually. Our bones are 22%. My favorite one is our teeth. Our teeth are 7% water. So we are almost entirely made of water. What happens is our water, while it's also called hydrogen-rich water, if you look up on PubMed or NCBI, it can be referred to as alkaline electrolyzed water or electrically reduced water. So water molecules are electrically charged. They stick together like magnets. And what happens is they're not able to fit into our cell efficiently, especially out of the tap. There's other reasons for this, which I can answer later. Through the electrolysis process and the tubing, our water becomes what's called reduced to microclusters. This allows the water to fit into and through the cell easier. So we're hydrating our cells. And as a byproduct, this water is rushing throughout our body, giving our cells a rinse. The first couple weeks that you drink Kangen water, you pee a lot. I'm going to call on you, Mom, in a bit just because your story is hilarious. So, these four issues, what happens if they are left unchecked? And most people are leaving these unchecked. Don't leave these unchecked. In the short term, stress, low energy, acid reflux, poor sleep quality, and low libido. Low libido is surprisingly prevalent in men these days as well. It's a pretty big deal. Long term, if you leave acidity, oxidation, toxification, and dehydration unchecked, this leads to all the scary things that we're all afraid of when it happens to getting older and aging. Diabetes, neurodegeneration, arthritis, cancers, and the list goes on and on and on and on if you leave these things unchecked. So the sooner you get on it, the better. Cancer, you're more likely to get cancer if you drink chlorine. Huge surprise there. Don't drink chlorine. I'd rather be dehydrated personally. So our machine does directly combat all of these health issues through the technology. These are some pictures of actual testimonies from people on our team. Eczema this is a very commonly applied uh, treatment in places like Japan for things like eczema. This is a friend of mine. Her name's Danica, and she tried everything, and she went through this amazing transformation from her machine. Tap water. So this is what, obviously this is dramatic. However, it is real. This is from a city, and this is what the water is running through. I actually have a friend right now who's he's working in North Hollywood, and they have a hard water problem, and they're pulling out the piping, and it's looking like this because it's over mineralized. We have a shower unit, which we'll talk about briefly at the end. I have brought our shower unit to Peru. It's absolutely excellent. These are pictures taken by someone on our team of the filter. If you guys want to go see what your tap water is like after this presentation, go to your tap or go to your shower and just unscrew it and look into the thing that you unscrew. You'll find all this bullshit in it. It's crazy. Here's a whole bunch of people that you probably don't care about that are rich and famous that also have the machines. There's lots of other people like Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, Tom Brady. Lots of people that have access to high net worth intelligent people end up owning one or many of these machines. Grant Cardone, Tony Robinson, etc. Our machine has some additional features. Some people purchase the product because of these additional features. And so at the touch of a button, we have the ability to completely manipulate the entire pH scale. So we touch a button, we get unlimited access to something called hypochlorous acid. This is a stronger disinfectant than bleach. I'm not saying this, another doctor has said this, where it neutralizes COVID on site. Hypochlorous acid is incredibly potent as a disinfectant, and it is the same chemical compound that our white blood cells use to fight invaders, so it doesn't hurt our body. We're very, very cool. Touch of a button, we have unlimited access to what we call beauty water. This is a skin toner and hair conditioner. Really big selling point in Asia, even here, I'm not there anymore. Even in North America, I knew some women that were spending 30, 40, $50 a month on this little bottle of skin conditioner. And if you look on that bottle, you're going to see that it says 5, 5.5, or 6.0 pH. And so we have unlimited access at the touch of a button. We can make neutral water. We give it to babies. We take it with medication. I went over all the positive health effects of our drinking water. And finally, last but not least, we have our pesticide remover, our highly alkaline 11.5 pH degreaser. Thanks to my mom, I know that this is probably the best barbecue cleaner that exists. It degreases, 2.5 disinfects, 11.5 degreases. So I'm actually going to quickly just go like this and play you a fast video that examples how this water actually works. We're going to demonstrate. Oh, wait, I need to do one thing. Hold on. There it is. Okay. Straight Kangen 11.5 water. This water is primarily used to clean fruits and vegetables. So pesticides are oil-based poisons. Basically, they take oil, they take poison, they mix it together. It's called pesticides. The reason for this is because oil and water don't mix, so that when it rains, it doesn't wash the poisons off of the fruits and vegetables. Unfortunately, when you go to clean your fruits and vegetables in tap water, the same thing happens. The water and oils don't mix, and the pesticides stay on the fruits and vegetables. So these ones here have been sitting in tap water, and these tomatoes have been sitting in Kangen 11.5 pH for about 20 minutes. So let's see what happens when we strain the tomatoes that have been sitting in the tap water. Okay, and now let's see what happens when we look at the 11.5 pH. Oh, that's disgusting. So as you can clearly see, these tomatoes are clean and these ones aren't. There's a few things that people always mention when they experience this. And one is that they feel different. You can actually feel the oil still on these ones. And the second is the taste. They say these taste sweet and these taste bitter. And I personally didn't even think I liked cherry tomatoes until I ate some that weren't covered in poison. Yep, so that's a pretty big deal. And at this point, you know what's going to happen, Mom. It's your turn to shine because this is one of the reasons, if not the reason, why you bought the water. So, Mom, if you could speak for just a couple minutes. Hey, Dad, good to see you. If you could speak for like a second or two on this, Mom, that'd be awesome. And then I'll get into the business. You're muted. You're muted. Yep, classic. It's classic.
So you want me to talk about my experience with 11.5?
Yeah, and just like quick, the health,
Okay.
the
Okay.
tomatoes,
Yeah.
couple of minutes. Yeah.
So I've been drinking Kangen water for 5 years now, I guess. Can't imagine not having the machine anymore. I use it to wash floors, clean windows, um, on my face. Uh, I disinfect everything with 2.5. So I don't have very many cleaners in the house anymore. I have spray bottles with different pH Kangen water in the spray bottles. Vegetables, unbelievable. Shelf life doubles.
Doubled.
Our compost, our compost is half
At
of what
least
it
at least half.
used to be.
I'm the compost looker after. Normally, after a year,
So
we'd
honored.
get three wheelbarrows of compost. Now, at most, one and a half.
And the
And
reason
when
is because we're
Matthew
wasting
started
less
all
food.
this,
Yeah.
I was doubting Thomas. And now I'm convinced that it's worth health and the pocketbook.
Amazing. Wow, that's a potent.
Okay, I'm
Glad I got
done.
that on recording. Thank you, Dad. All right, Thomas out. There you go. That's my dad. That's a rare occurrence, ladies and gentlemen. That might be the first time I've ever had him on a Zoom call. So that was